And my number one best streaming service out there right now is welcome back to Dramatic Evaluation. In this video, I'm going to be ranking the top 10, I guess, streaming services. So all these apps that replaced cable that, by the way, I called it 5 years before it happened. I said, oh, in 5 years, cable's not even going to be a thing. Like all these like streaming services, like these apps are like coming out and it's just going to be like different, like cable's gone. It's just going to be like apps. And then it's hilarious that now, first of all, I was right. So good for me on that. And then now there's so many of them. And you're paying for this one, you're paying for that one, paying for that one. Now it's like the same cost as paying cable, but like less convenient because you're paying like all these different ones. Now some are starting to bundle together. Probably one day they'll all bundle together and be like cable again. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to rank the current streaming services. And this is just my personal ranking of how good I think the service is, what they offer, how often I use it. And what is good versus not good on these services. And I'm just gonna cover the main ones. I'm not gonna like go super in depth on every single one that's out there. There's all these like random little ones. I'm gonna group a few into a tier, the free tier, the ones that you don't have to pay for and subscribe to. I might miss some. I'm gonna miss a few here and there. There's gonna be ones I'm not even familiar with. That I'm just not going to have on this list, but relax. If you like those ones, cool, use them, it's whatever. I'm going to go over the main top 10 that I am aware of and use and feel like should be on this list. And I'm not going to include ones that are hyper specific like AMC Plus, although I love AMC shows, love Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, those kind of shows that are on there. Just, it's all that service is that one TV channel, content, or everything. They might have movies and stuff on there too. I don't know. I don't remember, but it's also just like a channel. I don't even have that as like an app. It's like I think they have their own app, but I have it like as a channel on Amazon. But I don't know. I'm not covering it. Okay. So, I'm going to go over the main ones, and here we go. I was going to make a new ranking, a little drop there, but I was too lazy, and I think the top 10 one that I have works, which I think is the top 5 one that I use all the time, just with different text. So don't worry about it. Okay, let's get into this. Number 10, I'm going to count them down. I'm going to go from the worst ones to the best one at the top. So number 10, ESPN Plus. And this is one I was not even going to include this one on the list, but I only had gotten to 9, and I wanted to be able to make this a clean top 10, so I added ESPN Plus on here. Really, mostly for sports documentaries, live sports. You can get on there, pay-per-view events, so like UFC, boxing. I don't know what else even is pay-per-view, like. I don't know if you can get like wrestling. I don't watch that. I don't know about like football and baseball and basketball and stuff like that. I'm not sure. And then they have like original shows and documentaries and stuff. That's where I watch the Ultimate Fighter show that I watch, that I'm almost done with. I haven't been watching it in the last few weeks or month or so, but I'm like on season 30, I think, and there's 32 seasons, so I'm almost caught up and done with that show. So anyway, yeah, it's good, it's fine, but it's very niche, it's very specific, I would say, to sports, and it's not really in the same category as all the rest of these that I'm going to get into here. So number 9, this is where I'm putting the free tier. So, and I'm grouping these together. Tubi is probably the main one, I would say. PlutoTV, RokuTV, and there's other ones too, I think, but those are kind of the main ones I'm aware of and use. And they're good, good random movies on there, especially Tubi. A lot of like newer, not super new, but like new-ish, you know, I'll scan on there sometimes and see, like, be surprised by, like, some of the movies that they have on there. It's I saw Barbarian on there the other day. I know that's like a few years old at this point, but yeah, just, you know, more recent movies on there, and pretty wide selection. They have a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff comes and goes pretty quickly, though, so you kind of have to pay attention and watch something if you want to watch. Sometimes you can't really leave it on your list for too long. It's just going to go away. But the ads, man, you know, it's free. So how they make their money is the ads, and so many ads. You're watching something and 20 minutes later there's an ad. And in this world of streaming services where we're used to watching everything how, you know, as we want to on the service, having an ad pop up is a little out of place and sucks. So yeah, so that's why it's down here at number 9. Otherwise decent, but yeah, the ads suck. Number 8, Peacock. So Peacock occasionally has new release movies. So that's a feather in their cap, I would say. Like, every once in a while I'll pop in there and there's like a movie that just came out in theaters, or like, you know, just had to come out in theaters a couple months ago, which sometimes is annoying because I'll rent a movie when it comes out super quick on one of the other services I'm going to get to later. Don't want to spoil that. And I rent it for the freaking $1 million because those brand new rentals are like $20. Sometimes you get them for 10. And it's a movie I really want to see, so I'm like, oh, I'm just going to pay it and I'm going to rent it because I really want to watch this. And then, like, freaking 3 weeks later, it's on Peacock or one of these other services I'm going to get to. And I'm like, could have freaking waited, man. So, is what it is. But, yeah, that's a cool thing that they have new movies sometimes. Other than that, it's pretty much all, it's decent stuff on there, but it's limited to like NBC and Universal stuff, so it's kind of specific. But, you know, there's the heavy hitters like The Office, Parks and Recreation, Community. If there's any other NBC shows that you like, they're on there. But yeah, like the movies and stuff, I think are limited to like Universal movies. I don't think there's a whole wide range of stuff. Still some good stuff, but it's pretty limited. So that's why it's down here at number 8. Number 7, Hulu. Hulu's a weird one. I don't really use it that often. Then I'll go on a run and kind of watch stuff that I've banked up on a list. But like it's weird because so it's got the option for live TV. So right there, that's cool, I guess. If you want to be able to have live TV, then this is a service that provides that. Occasionally, they have new release movies as well. Not very many big ones or ones like at all. It's like not super often that they do that, I feel like, but every once in a while you'll see like a newer release movie pop out on there. And then it feels like the big thing of Hulu is like FX shows. I don't know if that's just me finding that with shows that I watch, but like, or if that's just like a thing with Hulu. But Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Shogun, Pen 15, like Handmaid's Tale is, I think, an original show, not FX. But yeah, they just have a bunch of like FX stuff. So I don't know what's going on with that. But they do have other original stuff like Handmaid's Tale. I haven't seen that, but I know it's like super popular and it's one of their bigger shows. Future Man was awesome. Check that out. It's like a comedy Aaron Hernandez show that I talked about on this YouTube channel. Pam and Tommy was awesome. The Bear, another one I haven't seen but is popular and everyone talks about. And I don't know how a show about cooking food or a chef is good, but apparently it is, and people love it. So yeah, a little bit of a weirder service with the live TV stuff and the kind of just random assortment of stuff you can get. A lot of like stuff that just came out on TV, especially FX, is like on there the next day. It's pretty good, but it's down here at 7. Number 6, Paramount Plus. So I'll find myself not using this for like 3 months, and then I'll jump in there and use it a bunch to catch up on a bunch of stuff, or just sometimes like a couple of these I've mentioned, they'll have new release movies on here as well. Movies that come out that were like just released in theaters, especially if they're like Paramount studio like movies, and not a ton. They don't do that a lot, but they do that sometimes. And then also it's you can bundle this with Showtime. So I'm sort of considering that as part of this package because that's what I have. And I go on this app to watch shows like Yellow Jackets when it's on, Dexter, the different Dexter series that are now around. It's got all the Sonic stuff I've talked about, the Yellowstone branch off shows. I've not watched any of those, but I know those are super popular. It's also got a bunch of like CBS stuff, which does CBS have like a single show that's good? I don't know. It's just one of those networks for me that I'm just like, there's not a single thing on there that I watch. I don't, yeah. But yeah, like overall pretty good, but I haven't like dug around in it too much, but I think it is also pretty niche like Peacock, where it's like mostly Paramount stuff. But they might, I think they do have other stuff from other studios, but predominantly Paramount stuff, it feels like. But I don't know. There's a good enough selection that I find stuff on there to watch, and there's definitely good shows that are specific to Paramount or Showtime that you have to watch on here. So it's pretty good. Number 5, Max. Although now HBO Max, which it always should have been, it was HBO Max. It was HBO, obviously. Then they did this service, changed it to HBO Max after HBO Go or something, HBO Now, and then HBO Max. And then they changed it to Max. Everyone was like, you idiots. Why would you drop HBO? Everyone knows this as quality. It's HBO. And then lo and behold, a couple months later, they changed it back to HBO Max because they realized they were dumb. So that's pretty hilarious and also very stupid. But yeah, I guess now it's back to HBO Max. And again, like these other ones, occasionally they'll have new release movies. I don't feel like they do it super often, but every once in a while there's a very new movie that pops up on there. Obviously, great HBO shows that they've had over the years. The Sopranos, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Game of Thrones, The Last of Us, Euphoria. Tons of good shows and a bunch of solid movies as well. So it's a pretty good collection of stuff. I don't think it's like too niche like the shows. Obviously, there's all those like HBO specific shows, but there's other shows and movies in particular that I think are from multiple different studios and just that they get on there for a period of time from time to time, and they're good. Number 4, Apple TV Plus. Okay, high quality shows is what the big thing about this one is for me. There's a few movies, and I'm talking the specific Apple TV originals, I guess. So there's some movies that I've seen on there, definitely, but like more shows than movies, I would say, that are in their repertoire. Ted Lasso, Severance, Mythic Quest, Silo, Blackbird, Crowded Room, The Gorge, Coda. This is a handful of examples I've seen on there that I really liked. And then you can buy and rent movies. Essentially, most shows and movies. I think it's kind of like you have access to what used to be like iTunes, like just the library of like anything that's out there, and you can go rent or buy a movie. So that's opens their collection quite a bit there, although you do have to pay the extra fee for that through your Apple account or whatever. But yeah, man, the quality is what sets this apart for me. The shows that I've seen on here are just impeccable production value, acting, writing. They're just very good. They're very good. The problem is, while it's high quality, it's not high quantity. They're building their collection over time, but it just feels like it's like 1 or 2 good new shows a year or something that they come out with. It's not. It's probably more than that, but it's not a lot. Their collection is still not super huge, so I think that was the deciding factor for me of putting it at number 4 instead of number 3, just because they just don't have quite enough stuff. But it's freaking good, the stuff they do have on there. So number 3 then is going to be Disney Plus. Like I said, it's kind of toss up between Apple TV and Disney for 3 and 4, but just put it where I put it and don't worry about it. So Disney Plus, really, for me, it's they have the Star Wars collection, which at this point is massive, the Marvel collection, which at this point is massive, and all the Disney and Pixar stuff, which at this point is massive. So that's kind of their main thing, I feel like. But they do have other stuff, and you can also so there's the option to bundle with Hulu, and if you do, then when you're on Disney Plus, you can access all the Hulu stuff. So then that just opens up all the movies and shows that you can watch on there. There's a good amount of musical movies. A lot of them are the cheesy little Disney musical movies and shows, but hey man, there's some good stuff in there. Okay, give it a chance. And like I said, you can access other stuff. They have the Fox stuff, I think, because Disney owns Fox, so you can watch anything that's related to Fox on there, I think. But otherwise, it's essentially limited to. But otherwise, it's specific to Disney content and whatever Disney owns. But I use it all the time just for Star Wars and Marvel stuff. I was never a big Marvel guy, and then a couple of years ago, I just went for it and started watching them all, and there's good stuff in there, so just kind of kept with it and was watching all the stuff as it comes out. There's a ton of Marvel shows that I had not seen that I'm kind of going through right now. Yeah, that are freaking good, pretty good, surprisingly good. I thought these shows were going to suck, and they don't. They're pretty entertaining shows. So yeah, Disney Plus, definitely use it quite a bit, and it's got some good stuff on there. Number 2, here we go. The top 2. These are the heavy hitters, in my opinion. These are the big boys. Okay, Amazon Prime. This is where I rent all the new movies. Okay, you can do that on Apple TV Plus, but I just don't. I just do it on Prime. But everything that comes out and things that were just out in theaters, sometimes things that are currently in theaters, you can rent early, but they're $1 billion. So they get you on not wanting to wait. They charge $20 to rent it. Sometimes it'll be 10 or 5, but and then older movies, it's $3 to $5 to rent a movie. Or you can buy it for 25 or whatever. So yeah, sometimes I'll do that when I don't want to wait, but I don't do that too often. But they do have a decent selection of original stuff too. Over the years, they've built a little bit of a collection. It's not super huge, but they do have some stuff like The Boys, Fallout was pretty good, Outer Range, Red Oaks. It's a really solid show that I don't think anyone's ever heard of. You should check that out. It was awesome. And Sound of Metal, The Big Sick, Honey Boy, Beautiful Boy. Yeah, there's a decent collection of stuff that's on there. And then just tons of other stuff that's not original. That they just get for the service and have on there that are different movies and shows from different studios that they just collect and offer on there. So it's pretty huge assortment of stuff. You can find a lot of stuff on there, and whatever you can't find on there for free, you can find on there to rent. You can essentially rent anything that's ever been made, pretty much. Obviously not anything, but pretty close. They have a lot of stuff on there. So all of those reasons are why it's up here at number 2. And shocker, I think you'll now know what my number 1 is. And my number 1 best streaming service out there right now is Netflix. Come on. The OG, the classic, the first of its name. I think Netflix started this whole thing, right? It was kind of the first one. They had the mail out the DVD system, and then they changed or added the online where you could watch a percentage of what they had, movies they had online, and then turned that into the app, and then everyone bid off it, and it started the whole thing. So yeah, so they've been around for a long time. So because of that, they have a huge collection, ton of great original shows and movies on Netflix. It's definitely the biggest catalog of that. It's got to be, because it's been around the longest, and they pump them out. They're always releasing original stuff. But Stranger Things, Ozark, Squid Game, Bird Box, Dark, Lock and Key, Cobra Kai, You, Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, the Fear Street trilogy. There, I could list things off forever. There are so many. That's just like some of the top ones I could think of that I love on there. And I'd have to look at a list, and there'd probably be 4 billion things on the list. So just a ton of great shows and movies on there, but also of the originals, but also tons of not original ones and random shows and movies they have from different studios that they collect and put on there. A lot of them leave over time, but most of the services do that also, so it's not that big of a deal. But they just have a ton of stuff on there similar to Prime. So there's always, you can scan through and find something to watch, and it's just good, man. Netflix is the OG. It's the go-to. If you're like, oh, I don't know, I don't have something I'm currently watching right now, I need to find a show or a movie, you can just go to Netflix, dude, and scan around and find something. I had the massivest list of stuff that I've been chipping away at on Netflix, like on your my list, where you can put your stuff on the list. And finally, I've gotten it down pretty good. Like, I went ham the last couple years chipping away at that, and I've gotten down pretty good on that. So I am gonna need to start scanning through and building that list back up to find new stuff on there. But Netflix is awesome, dude, and all these streaming services are pretty good. So that's my list. That's my ranking of all these services. So that's it for this video, ranking the streaming services. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite streaming service is, if I got this order wrong in your opinion, if there's ones I left off that you think should have been on this list. Let me know what you thought. Leave a comment. Stay tuned. Until next time,